We've built an app in under 15 days, and this is an inventory app that I have created a playlist for all of you on this YouTube channel. But now the question is, how do we go about deploying this application? And I know I'm holding this microphone very close to my face right now because I am very excited to explore what it is that we are planning to do right now. I'm going to be deploying this application on a shared hosting web panel. And ladies and gentlemen, the item that we're going to be using today is Hostinger. Hostinger is one platform that I have been using for a very long time, but this is not a sponsored video, so I'm not going to be going ahead and telling you exactly what it is that is going on, but I will place a referral link at the bottom of this description, so you guys go ahead and check this out and follow the steps that are required. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin. Okay, so as you can see, I'm on my Hostinger web panel right now, and this is a one-take kind of video. I've not tried to deploy this application at any one given point, so I'm just going to try as much as I can to walk over how easy it is to get things started. So at first, I am going to go to one website over here that I have been managing, and that is stevenyanumba.com. So you can see that we are on this, and for sure we have it over here as well, stevenyanumba.com. This is my personal portfolio website, and it works, and it's very okay, very seamless, as you can see. But what we want to do here is we want to create a subdomain for hosting this this inventory application. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here on this side for the overview. It's supposed to be inside subdomain. So I'm just going to go home, going to go back to business web hosting, which is the web hosting package that we're using. Then I'm going to select my website name, stevenyanumba.com. And then I'm going to come in here, go to domains, and then go to subdomains right there. So once I click on subdomains, I will go to, I'll just come here and say inventory, or let's call it, because I've always wanted to create an application like this. I'm going to call it Everest. And you can steal this name if you want to, I don't care. I'll change it eventually. Then we'll come in here for custom folder for subdomain. I'll just leave it like this. We can already see a subdomain over here that I am probably not using at the moment, but I'm just going to come in here and create. Yes, and now we have everest.demo at stevenyanumba.com. So I'm just going to come in here and click this, and we have the site active if I open it like this. So you can see it's very much active. The thing that is going on over here is that it's not secure. It doesn't have an SSL certificate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go back to the main menu. Oh, the SSL is actually active at this point. So I think it automatically installs it. Yes, and it's already active. So it automatically installs the SSL certificate on this website. So we don't even need to actually lift a finger at this point. It just took some time and then it installed it for us. This is the only one that doesn't have an SSL certificate, which is a custom domain I created prior to a long time ago, really. Now, in order to proceed, we need to actually come back here. We need to go to advanced, and then we're going to go to Git, right? So here in Git is where we manage our personal portfolio in such a manner that it's going to do continuous integration and continuous development. And given that I'm a solo developer, everything is going to be working straight out of the gate. I push to the master branch. I don't push to a different branch for review or whatnot. I push everything to the master branch. So that's the beauty about being a solo developer. What I'm going to do here is now I'm just going to open Everest at this point, which is the inventory app that we're dealing with. So I'm just going to open it here. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to go to the terminal, and we're going to open, we're just going to do a git status first of all to just check everything to see if everything is all right. And as you can see, now everything is okay. Then we're going to deal with our .env, and our .env file here is going to be having some extra stuff over here, as you can see. So what I'm going to call it, company name, as again, I'm just going to call it Everest. And then we're going to come here, info@everest.co.ke or .com or whatever. And yeah, I'm just going to come in here and copy this. These are just extra variables that I added onto my .env that were not inside here. And I'm just going to come in here and paste them here and just leave them as is, because everything else I'm just going to sort out in the process. Then I'm just going to now, first of all, I'm just going to do git. Before we even proceed on, we need to also go to our .git ignore and comment out the public build part. That's for shared hosting situations. I understand that if you do it in a VPS hosting, you're able to access NPM, you're able to access Composer, which is all right. But in this situation right now, since we're not able to access NPM, we'd rather build our assets right now. So I'll just do nrd first. All right, and then I close it off, and then I do nb, which is npm run build. And as you can see, now everything has been built. So the processes are npm run dev and npm run build. So I did npm run dev first, and then I did npm build next. So now that that has happened, if I do git status, we have our, we need to save our .git ignore first. And then we come in here to git status. And then we can see that we have a .git ignore, our .env.example, and our public build. So we'll just do git add all, then git commit deployment, and then we'll just do git push origin master. And we've pushed to the master branch at this point. So now the next thing we're going to do here is I'm just going to come in here and get the link. So git remote -v, and the link is here. So now you can see I can go to this point here and it opens up on GitHub. And I'm just going to come in here and copy the code itself. Since it's it's in public domain, I'm just going to come in here and just copy the public URL. And then I'm just going to come in here and paste it here. So I'm just going to click into the repository and paste it there. The master branch is the one. And then the directory, if I leave blank to deploy it directly to public HTML, that will cause an error. So the installation path is inside. If we go into our files area, and then we go to file manager, and I'm going to open this to the side. We're just going to come in here and access files of stevenyanumba.com, and you'll be able to see that we have a folder inside our public HTML that is Everest demo right here. So this is the folder, and then we're doing it inside Everest demo. So inside here, I'm just going to come in here and delete this default.php. And once it's deleted, we come in here and we'll see that there will be nothing loading. There'll be a 4.3 returning. So now inside here is where we're going to be placing our document. So Everest-demo. So we're just going to come in here and click on the directory over here. And then we're going to say Everest demo. All right. So if we create, then it's going to go ahead and deploy onto that folder itself. So we have it here and it's already done. So if we come and see the latest build demo, you can see all the Composer updates were done. Everything to do with Composer has been done at this point, but we still haven't had anything at this point here. Right? So if we go ahead and deal with this, because if we come in here and refresh this, we have our folders and everything. Everything is ready for us to deploy. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do HT access inside this inventory app. That's the first thing. So I'm just going to come in here and just do, I'm going to create one, which is, to create one, I think it's touch. So I'm just going to go ahead and do touch. And then I'm going to come in here and say .ht access. I was going to create a file that is over here, this ht access file over here. And the one that I usually use, the format that I usually use for all my ht access files It goes like this, yeah? There's no particular place where you have to learn this, all right? So I'm just going to come in here and say, I'm just going to come and do a, I don't know why my keyboard is not responding. So I'm just going to come and say if module, all right? And I'm going to close this off like a if module. So if module, right, inside this if module right here, I'm just going to come and say rewrite, right? So rewrite engine, all right? And then I'll say on, and then underneath I'll say rewrite rule, right? Rewrite rule, okay? And I'll do an upward arrow like this, and then I'll come in here and just do a dot. There's no particular place where you learn this actually, so I'm just going to come in here and finish this. Like so. And then inside here in this if module, there's something that I've left out. I'm just going to come in here and do a mod rewrite. Mod rewrite, I think it was .c. I think that was the case, right? So I'm just going to come in here and save that. So I'm just going to come in here and leave it like this. And I think this is ideal for the situation. So I'm just going to come in here and just do git add all git commit -m, and then I'm just going to say that I added htaccess, added htaccess file. And I'm just going to do git push origin master. So that htaccess is very, very important in terms of deployment of this particular application. So I'm just going to go back to my application over here, which is here, and then I'm just going to refresh here. And of course, we don't have much going on because it's saying the access to this resource on the server is indeed denied. But when we refresh our files over here, we can definitely see that we have our, we don't have our htaccess at this point. So what we need to do is when we're dealing with this, we just need to come in here and deploy. And when we deploy, it brings in the latest items that we've updated onto our Git repository. Then after that, we'll be able to see the changes. So I'm just going to come in here and refresh. And as you can see, now we're being brought to a 500 server error because now the files are actually being accessed the way they're supposed to be. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to open my terminal. All right. And inside my terminal, I'm going to be able to go to my Hostinger file over here. And there's something inside the advanced area called SSH access, especially when you have business hosting, the business web hosting. If you have anything less than that, you're not going to be having this tab. So I'm just going to come into SSH access, and these are my IPs. I'm hoping that you guys are not going to be seeing this in editing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come in and copy my login to SSH underneath this, and then it says use a built-in terminal on your device. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste it inside my git bash. And in order for all of you to see how I go about this, I'm just going to paste it inside my git bash. Some areas I need to delete. So it starts with SSH-p, and then my stuff already is there. Then it asks me for a password, which is saved as a passphrase on my SSH keys inside my system. And I'm just going to clear, and now we're in. Now, as we are in, we'll just come in here and do an ls, which will show us where we're supposed to go. We'll have domains, which is where we're supposed to go. So I'm just going to come in here and do cd domains. and then we do ls again. And then as you can see, you actually understand that we're going to go to stevenyanumba.com. So I'm just going to come in here and cd stevenyanumba.com. All right, and then I'm just doing ls again, and then we have our public HTML, and you can see the directories are actually following as we want. So I'm just going to come in here and do cd public HTML. And after public HTML, there's Everest-demo. So I just know that the item is there. So if I come in here and do ls again, you can see the app structure of our Laravel project right there. So I'm just going to come in here and do PHP artisan just to test it. And you can see it works right there. So what I'm going to do here is PHP artisan key generate. Actually, before we even do key generate, we need to actually copy our .env file, because if you see over here inside our files, we don't have our .env file. So if we come back here and just do copy, so cp.env, we want to copy our .env.example. All right, and then we'll just paste it as a .env. And once we do that, if we come in here and refresh these files, we'll be able to see that we have our .env ready. So if we come back here and then we just do PHP artisan, and in fact, with that .env, our error changes right now. We get another error telling us that no application encryption key has been specified. So if we come in here and do PHP artisan key generate, all right, we'll paste it there. The application key has been created successfully, and if we refresh, we have now our database file path at so and so on and so forth does not exist. And that's because it's looking for an SQLite database. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to come in and say, all right, we want to create a database right now. So we'll come into databases over here, and then we'll go to management. Okay. Then when we go to management, we'll be able to create our database name. So over here, we'll just come in and call it Everest-demo. Then the username is here. Then the password, I'm just going to create my own password, and I'll create. And it says only numbers, letters, and underscores are allowed. So I'm just going to come in here and leave it as an underscore, Everest-demo. Just like that. And the password, I'm just going to redo the password again. And I'll create. So now once we've done that, we can actually set those values inside our .env using nano. Okay. So inside nano, we'll just do nano.env, right? And then our .env is showing up on the terminal. So now we can go ahead and edit stuff. So I'm just going to come in here and just do a few edits, like the app name, for example, should be, now I'll just put it inside quotes, Everest. And I'll just leave it like that. The app env, I'll just put it as production. And then we can see our app key is already generated. Our app time zone will be UTC+3. All right, but we can also do a phrase about it. So we'll just leave it at UTC+3 because I'm in Nairobi. And then app URL, we'll just leave it as HTTPS. All right. And then we'll come and do it as Everest demo, right? .stevenyanumba.com. Then we have the app locale over here, which is all right. Then we have the app maintenance driver, which is file. Then app maintenance store is commented out. Then we have PHP CLI server workers, which will leave like that, the way it is. And then over here in DB connection, we'll put it as MySQL, so MySQL. Then we'll uncomment this, the DB host, which will be the local host of the server. The port will be 3306, which is the default port of MySQL. Then the DB database is going to be what we have over here, which is this. And we'll just come in here and delete that and paste it inside here. So yeah, here it is, Everest demo. And then we'll come in here into username, and it's the same thing. Actually, it's not Control V, by the way, guys. It's Shift Insert. So I keep on forgetting that bit. And then we have the password, which I will put the password that I set up there. So I'm just going to put it right now. Great. And now that we've exited from that particular point, because I don't want you guys to see the password that I set, all I'm just going to come in here and do is just going to exit here. Actually, before we exit, I'm just going to do PHP artisan migrate. And once we migrate, it will ask us if we're sure we want to run this command because it's in production, and it'll say yes. And as you can see, we have a few errors here. So we're told that the foreign key constraint is there, and it's in something about it being incorrectly formatted. Yeah, so this is a different error from what we would experience in our SQLite situation, because if you look at this, it's trying to make it as robust as possible to make things seamless. So you can see it says it can't create product purchases because the foreign key constraint is incorrectly formatted. So we're going to go back to the application to see what it is that is going on. So we'll just go to the inventory app, then we'll go to the databases, then the migrations, and then we'll look at the position of the product purchases table. So you see, we can't have this product purchases table being formulated before the purchases itself. So what we're going to do here is we're going to relabel this differently. We'll call it 38 right there, 162.638. And we move it up a bit so that the purchases is created first, and then we move to the product purchases table. The same thing should happen with the product sales table. Same thing should happen with like quotations, delivery notes, orders, and all these different things. The sales and the purchases need to come beforehand, and the products as well. So that's how we move forward. As we move on forward, as we come in here and just add all this, we'll commit this and we'll say restructure DB. And then we'll push to the origin master. Once we do that, we'll go back to our management settings right here. We'll go back to our advanced and we'll go to Git again. And then we'll go to where we deployed our inventory app and deploy again. And all the changes, once they're deployed onto the repository, we can be able to see that deployment is ended. And then now once we do anything over here of the same sort, we'll just come in here and do migrate fresh, because there's some databases that have already been migrated. So I'm just going to come in here and do fresh, do yes, and it will drop everything. And now we can see a different situation has happened, the credit note product. So we'll just come in and open our application at this point. We look at the credit note product table where it has been formed, and then we can see that our credit note ID is wrongfully formatted, as you can see. So you can see it's supposed to be credit note ID, just like that. And then product ID is okay. So over here, we also just change it like that. Should be the same with invoice, should be the same with sales payments, purchase payments. Then you can see sale payment, and purchase payment. Okay, so here we have purchase payment occurring before this. So I'm just going to come in here and restructure this as well. I'm going to put this at 607 so that they occur above. So purchase payment, sales payments, purchase payment, sale payment, just like that. So that was also going to be throwing an error inside our MySQL application. So I'm just going to come in here and do add, commit, and push to origin master. Then we'll deploy again. Then we'll close it. Then we'll run the command again inside here. Migrate fresh. We'll say yes. And then you can see a known or bad time zone inside our situation, but our database has indeed been migrated. So the one thing that I'm going to do obviously is to change that here. Bad time zone detected. So I'm just going to come in here and do Africa/Nairobi. And just to test whether or not it works, I'm just going to run that command again to see if that works. And it does, Africa/Nairobi, which is okay. So what we're going to move on with is actually testing out whether or not it works. So I'm just going to refresh this, and we are in login situations. We can come in here and we start by putting our passwords from 1 till 0, and it should work by now. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the full-on deployment. If we want to go through all the processes at this particular point, then we can proceed on to do so. So I'm just going to come in here, save this password first. Then I'm going to go to profile so that I can edit. So I can come into profile, edit the password. So I'll just come in here and paste it here, do a new password, just so that you guys should not log in. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I will go back to the dashboard and we're good to go. I think everything now is set. We can go to the users list, we can see that. We can go to the roles list, we can see everything. And I think everything is good, is fine, and everything is working well. So now, here's the thing. We want to enable CI/CD within our shared hosting departments. So what we're going to call it here is auto deployment. We're just going to come and try auto deployment. So we're just going to come in here, and then we copy this webhook URL. All right. Then once we copy this webhook URL, we go and set it up on our GitHub. So once we set it up on our GitHub, the authentication code, of course, I have to log into my GitHub. And then once we log into our GitHub, we can come in here, go to the payload URL, and I'm going to paste the payload, which is the webhooks. Then we're going to change our content type from this form URL encoded to application JSON right there. And then we're going to leave the secret blank, and we just push the event and add the webhook, just like that. So once we've done that, it will just do another deployment and it will be successful. So in such a situation, like let's say for example, I go to my Everest demo over here, right? Inventory app is here. So now I will come in here into my application, into the inventory application right now. I will go ahead and go to resources, views, layouts, app, and I go and change some of those values. So I'm just going to close this and change that value for the inventory app into the app name. So we'll just come in here, and then we have this part for inventory app. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to come in here and just do env, and then we'll do app name. And then Laravel. And this app name, it could be like this, it could be a string, it doesn't really matter. And then the default being Laravel. So if I save this, there's nothing that's going to show up right now if I refresh this, all right? But if I go ahead and push it, I add and I commit and I say renamed app, changed name of app. Then I do git push origin master. Once I do this push to master, if I come in here and refresh the demo, it will come and change. And it's instant, it's very instant, because as you can see, our deliveries are coming through very nicely. If I refresh this and actually show you guys the deliveries, recent deliveries, you can see that the recent delivery that is here is this one at 8:21, 8:23 and 8 seconds, which is at this particular time right now. So That's how we go about deploying applications on shared hosting. And you can see my Everest demo is over here. Everything is working very well and we're moving quite well. So that's it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys thought about that whole deployment process. Has it been simple? Has it been difficult? Would you have done it a different way? Let me know in the comments, and be sure as always to like, share and subscribe. And as we engage forward throughout this year of 2025, I hope that more content that I'll be releasing will be relevant to what it is that you actually need. Until the next video, ladies and gentlemen, please do indeed take care, and as always, God bless.